My beloved child, pause whatever you're doing. Right now, not in 5 minutes, not after you finish that task, right now. This moment is not an accident. It's a divine appointment set before you woke today. I've watched you carry burdens, make choices, and chase answers in places that can't fill you. I've seen you in motion, always moving. Hear me. My voice is hard to notice in your hurry. This is not just a message. This is me, Jesus, speaking to you. I'm not far. I'm not distant. I'm here, calling your name. I know what weighs on your heart. I know the thoughts racing through your mind all week. I know the fear you haven't said out loud and the pressure you've tried to manage. I'm telling you to stop, not because you're in trouble, but because you might miss what I'm giving you. You asked me to show up. This is me showing up. You've wondered if I still speak. I do, and I'm speaking now. Turn down the noise. Set the phone aside. Look beyond your plans. I want your full attention, not a divided one. This is holy ground. We are standing in it, just you and me. My presence is filling your space, your room, your soul. This is sacred. I am not a distant king shouting from the sky. I am the good shepherd who leaves the 99 to speak to one, you. So stop. Be still. Listen. Something eternal is being spoken to you now. Before you take another step, pause. The decision in front of you is not small or routine. It's not just another choice. It's a turning point. What you choose next will reach farther than you realize. That's why I'm coming with urgency. I see what you can't yet. I see what's waiting around the corner. I know the weight of this moment. You stand at the edge of something that could shift your life, your future, even your calling. I asked you to stop because I don't want you stepping into it without my voice guiding you. You asked me to lead you, and now I am. But you must slow down long enough to receive it. You've leaned on logic, weighed options, listened to many voices. But my wisdom isn't found in analysis. I am not giving you just an answer. I'm giving you alignment. I'm not asking you to trust what makes sense. I'm asking you to trust me. The tension you feel in your chest is not indecision. It's me holding you back for your good. I'm not frustrating your process. I'm protecting your promise. The path you're considering looks good on the surface, but I see what it costs inside. You weren't meant to enter rooms I didn't open. You weren't designed to carry outcomes I didn't plan. Pause, not from fear, but from faith. Faith that I know better. Faith that my timing isn't delayed but designed. If you choose without me, you may get what you want and lose what you need. But if you wait on me, if you let me lead, you'll walk into more than a solution. You'll walk into a divine setup. I'm not holding back information. I'm holding you up until you're positioned for better. I love you too much to be silent. That's why I'm interrupting your momentum. That's why I've stirred your heart even as you tried to ignore the stillness. Because I'm speaking directly to you now. Not in riddles, not in shadows, but in clarity. You asked me for signs. This is one. You asked me for peace. It's waiting on the other side of surrender. Before you make that call, before you sign that paper, before you walk through that door, talk to me. Not with rushed words, but with open ears. I'm not hard to find. I'm already beside you. I won't let you walk blindly. Trust the storm to pass. Embrace the stillness. I'm not taking from you. I'm preparing something for you. So before you move, remember whose you are. My sheep know my voice. I'm calling you by name. That quiet you wrestled with, the long days when I felt far, that wasn't me leaving. It wasn't abandonment or punishment. It was preparation. I was never far, not for a breath. I've been nearer than the air you breathe. watching every tear, every sigh, every whispered doubt you feared to voice. You thought the stillness meant I'd withdrawn, but I was drawing you deeper. The noise had to fade so my whisper could be heard. I wasn't ignoring you. I was preparing a holy space inside you, one only formed in the hush of heaven's presence. Every delay, every unanswered question, every closed door, part of the sacred rhythm of trust I was shaping in you. You looked for me in thunder, big miracles, shouts of certainty. Instead, I came in the quiet so you'd lean closer, notice my fingerprints when my hands seemed hidden. I waited not because I was late, but because I wanted you to feel the weight of what I'm saying now. This moment was marked on heaven's calendar, not because of what you did, but because I chose to reveal this at the right time. The silence wasn't wasted. It was a classroom teaching your soul to hear beneath the surface. That ache through those silent seasons wasn't in vain. It made you ready for the voice that never stops loving you. I watched you question everything when your prayers felt like echoes. I held every word, I caught every tear. Now I speak not to solve every question, but to fill empty places with myself. What you needed all along wasn't a solution, it was me. Now that you've grown through silence and your heart has slowed to feel me, I can give what was always meant for you. Let this moment teach you. When stillness comes again, don't fear it. Don't run. Sit in it. I often speak loudest when everything else is quiet. The silence never proved distance. It prepared a soul to hear heaven's heartbeat. Now that you're here, face to face, I can pour out what you longed to hear. You were never alone, never forgotten. You were learning to recognize me not only in blessing, but in waiting. And now, child, you're ready for what's next. You've lived in constant motion, endless words flashing screens, opinions and demands pulling from every side. It's become normal, and you don't sense the weight of it anymore. But I do. The noise is not only loud, it's heavy. It's pulling you from what your spirit truly wants. It's not background, it's interference. You think you're focused, but you're drifting. Some things are stealing your focus, fragmenting attention, clouding your heart. You've mistaken them for essential, but they're robbing you. They drain your peace and dull your sense of my presence. The buzz, the updates, the voices, the scrolling, the pressure to react and perform. These keep you from hearing the voice that matters most, mine. You've grown attached to clutter, so silence feels strange, even threatening. Remember, I don't speak through chaos. I speak through clarity. I'm not found in the whirlwind of opinions. I'm found in the simple conviction that touches your heart when you sit with me. That's why I've called you to be still and disrupted your rhythm. Not to punish, but to protect. You can't move forward with the clarity you want while drowning in noise. And it's not just the outside noise, it's the inner turmoil too. The replay of regrets, the spirals of worry, the what-ifs, and worst-case scenes. Those aren't yours to carry. The world put them on you. I didn't. You weren't meant to be exhausted by everything. You were made for closeness with me, for deep calm, for a peace that holds. Peace doesn't shout, it waits. And so have I. Waiting for you to tune your heart to the frequency of heaven, where who you are and who I am is louder than the lies. Do you remember the last time you sat without checking, scrolling, or racing thoughts? That's what I'm restoring, not just time but your soul. The world applauds productivity. I pursue presence. I'm not asking you to be less. I'm asking you to return to who you are beneath the noise. You are mine. When you sit with me and quiet the voices that don't serve your spirit, I'll show you what matters again. Not the urgency others demand, but the eternal things I've been waiting to unfold. Clarity is coming. Healing is waiting. Love is ready for you to receive again. But you must step away from the noise. Learn the difference between motion and direction. Not every open door is for you. Not every voice needs a response. You don't have to be everywhere, know everything, or do it all. You just have to be with me. There your identity is restored. There anxious thoughts lose their grip. There you remember your calling. If the world keeps shouting, let it. I'm not in the shouting. I'm here, gentle, steady, faithful, waiting for you to make room for what matters again. Don't let noise decide your next step. Let me lead you. You've carried too much for too long. I see it. Your hands holding things I never asked you to grasp. Duties that drain joy. Burdens not assigned to you. Expectations that feel impossible. Your fingers clutch plans, timelines, deadlines, and the illusion of control. You try to keep everything from slipping, but you've forgotten how to receive. You were never created to hold everything together. That's my role. While your hands are full, how can you take what I'm giving? You don't have to prove anything to me. There's no invisible goal to earn my nearness. You don't need to hold it all together to keep me close. You need only to lay it down. Everything, especially the things that feel too important to release, because what you refuse to release can become what you serve, and what you serve shapes who you become. You weren't made to live anxious or afraid. I see your trembling heart, the questions flooding in, the pressure tightening around your confidence. I know the inner dialogue in the dark. Fear of letting someone down, doubts when your strength fades. I never asked you to carry this alone. I never asked you to be your own savior. You don't have to run at this pace. You don't have to pretend you're okay. I'm not looking for performance. I'm longing for surrender. Let your shoulders drop. Let your mind rest. Let your soul breathe. Stop and listen. I'm speaking, not with condemnation, but with compassion. I see your exhaustion. I see panic behind the smile. I see how hard you try to be strong. Strength isn't never breaking. Strength is knowing who to turn to when you feel like breaking. Drop it all. Stress, pressure, guilt, and come into my presence with empty hands. That's where I fill you with what the world can't give. You don't need everything figured out before you come. You just need to be still enough to hear me say, I've got you. Not only today, but every day. Let me reorder what's messy. Let me realign what's crooked. Let me remind you that your weight isn't your identity. You are not what you carry. You are mine. Chosen, held, understood, and seen. In this sacred pause, let me speak peace into the places where worry lives. Let my presence wrap you like a blanket for the weary. You are safe here. You can exhale. Stop grasping. Stop running. Stop managing it all alone. Drop it and listen. What I speak next will give you back your breath. That restlessness in you isn't random. It's not a mood or weakness. It's your spirit getting your attention, warning you that you're holding weight that isn't yours. You've picked up emotions, roles, duties, and expectations I didn't place in your hands. You accepted burdens others projected onto you, took on outcomes I never required, and let pressure sit on your shoulders when I already paid to lift it. The unease you feel, that low hum in your chest, that sense that something's off, is a holy signal. It's not failure. It's a divine alert. It's me revealing you're slightly off course or holding what I'm removing. When your soul feels agitated, it often means there's a gap between where you are and where I've called you. Don't ignore it. The world will say anxiety is normal, something to cope with or numb. I don't want you numbed. I want you listening. When your spirit is unsettled, it's often crying out for realignment. That discomfort may not come from the obvious, it may be subtle. A good thing taken too far, a duty you were never meant to own, a path that looks right but leads away from peace. I'm not pointing this out to shame you. I'm revealing it so you can be free. I love you too much to watch you drag what drains your joy. The stress, the tension, the second guessing, that's not the life I died to give you. You've walked heavy, wondering why peace stays out of reach. Peace can't dwell where my will is ignored. My will was never for you to carry crushing pressure. I've called you to live from grace, overflow, and trust. That burden you feel is not your portion. It may seem important, you may think you must handle it. I'm here to remind you, not everything you carry is sacred. Some of it is excess. Some of it is built on lies that say you're worthy only if you're useful. I've never measured you by productivity. I measure you by proximity, how close you walk with me, how open your heart remains. If it costs your peace, it costs more than I asked. Look at what you've taken on. Examine the yeses I didn't ask for. Be willing to release them. Don't wait for them to break you. I'm giving permission now. Lay them down. When you do, the unease will melt. Not because everything outside changes, but because inside you come back into tune. That's how you'll know. Peace returns, rest rises, and your soul breathes again. You weren't made to carry what I already conquered. Let me take it. Let yourself be free. You've kept moving with all you have, digging into reserves, trying to choose well, holding things together at a cost no one sees. I've watched you pour out energy, focus, and heart. But there comes a time when your strength fades, when the inner fire dims, when even your will feels thin. That moment isn't weakness, it's a turning point. It's where I invite you to shift from self-reliance to surrender. You've done well. Now let me carry what's ahead. You were never meant to navigate alone. I didn't design you for isolation or to depend on limited capacity. I made you to walk hand in hand with me, to draw strength from me, to be guided by my wisdom, covered by my presence. When you lean only on yourself, you run dry. That's not failure, that's a signal. It's time to move from striving to abiding. You don't need to know every step. Trust the one who sees the end from the beginning. You don't have to be the map and the traveler. I am the way. I make crooked places straight. I know what's around the bend. I know which doors are yours and which are distractions. I know when to stop you, move you, or carry you. Just stop walking alone. Let me lead. Let me set the pace. The pressure to figure it all out right now, that's not from me. I don't drive you with stress. I guide you with peace. I don't rush you into panic. I lead you into purpose. You've relied on instincts, habits, and coping, but those tools are wearing thin because they can't build your future. Only I can. I'm not asking you to abandon responsibility. I'm asking you to abandon isolation. Include me in the process. Invite me into your schedule. Ask me before you decide. No part of your life is too small for my care. I'm not distant or waiting for crisis. I want to be in the everyday steps. The small, the in-between, the confusing. I want to walk with you through every decision, opportunity, and shift. You don't have to be strong enough on your own. That was never the goal. The goal is togetherness, communion. That's what your spirit craves. You felt what it's like to move on your own. Now taste what it's like to move with me. You'll know the difference when pressure lifts and peace remains, when things begin to flow without forcing, when clarity replaces confusion, when grace carries the load instead of effort. I'm not at the finish line. I'm with you every step. Let me in. Let me lead. Let me strengthen your tired parts and restore the lost ones. I'm not just a guide. I'm your source. This isn't the end of your journey. It's the beginning of the part we walk together. Everything around you moves fast. Deadlines, expectations, comparisons, demands, like a current pushing you forward, making you believe slowing down means falling behind. You've been taught that movement equals progress and stillness is wasted time. That's not how I speak. I don't shout over chaos. I don't compete with noise. I wait until your spirit is quiet enough to hear me. The world tells you if you're not doing something, you're losing something. If you're not ahead, you're forgotten. If you want success, you must run harder, faster, longer. I created you for more than racing. I created you for relationship, and relationship needs attention and intimacy. These can't be rushed. That's why I've been pulling you into pauses, not to make you fall behind, but to realign you. In the rush, you miss me, my gentle leading, the quiet confirmations, the whispers that could save you from wrong turns. I don't want you to burn out chasing a life I didn't author. I want you to walk in the life I prepared. You can't see it unless you slow enough to notice. There are things I want to show you that are only visible at a slower pace. There are truths I want to plant deep, but they need space to grow, not a heart trampled by hurry. You aren't designed to outrun your peace. You were made to live from it. The deepest clarity often comes when you stop and breathe. Not when you force, not when you perform, but when you sit with me and listen. That's when you recognize my tone. Not fear, not pressure, not culture, but the sound of your shepherd. I promise, when you slow down, I will speak. You won't miss purpose by pausing. You'll find it. You won't lose momentum by waiting. You'll gain perspective. Don't let fear of being behind keep you from the value of presence. You weren't meant to race from moment to moment. You were made to dwell with me, hear me, know me, follow me. That doesn't happen in frenzy. It happens in quiet. Let me reteach you to rest without guilt. Let me show the beauty of reflection. Let me remind you that powerful change often happens not when you move, but when you're still enough to let me move in you. If the world shouts hurry, let my spirit whisper slow down. I know what's ahead. I know what you need. It doesn't begin with a rush. It begins with a pause. That pause is where you'll find me every time. I've been speaking all along. In moments you felt forgotten, I was near. In nights when your heart broke silently, I leaned closer. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. I whispered through your sorrow to comfort, not overwhelm. I spoke in your ache, hoping you'd sense my nearness as everything else faded. Lately, distractions have built walls around your awareness. The flood of thoughts, endless content, and never-ending lists. They don't just fill your time, they drown my voice. I've been whispering, nudging your heart, calling you back, but now the noise is too loud. You've turned up everything else, and the sacred frequency of my voice is muted by demands. So I will raise my voice, not in anger, but in love. I'll interrupt the cycle before it pulls you too far. You're not out of reach, but you do need awakening. I won't compete with distractions, yet I won't allow them to steal what I prepared. You belong to me, and I will fight for your focus. I know you want to hear me. I see the longing beneath the busyness. I know you didn't mean to drift. That's why I'm stepping in to protect your future. If I must break the illusion of control to free you, I will. If I must tear down idols of urgency and motion, I will. Not to hurt you, but to bring you back where your soul can breathe. You've let good things become loud things, and loud things drown the voice that matters. I won't let your identity be shaped by constant input from sources that don't know your worth. I won't stand by while your mind is bombarded and your spirit starves. You asked for clarity, peace, and reassurance. But answers don't come to divided hearts. They come when your ears tune to me. So here I am, cutting through the noise with urgency. This isn't just correction, it's rescue. I see the cost, your calm, your discernment, your joy. Distraction isn't harmless. It's pulling you out of alignment with purpose. That's why I won't be silent. I'm speaking louder, firmer, clearer. Because I love you, because I chose you, because your spirit is too valuable to be drowned by the temporary. Let this be your wake-up call, your turning point. You don't need to clean up first. You need to recognize my voice. Silence the chaos long enough to remember who you are and who I am. I know your soul better than you know your schedule. I'm not only gentle, I'm a rescuing savior. I don't whisper to hide. I whisper to draw you near. When whispers go unheard, I call in ways you can't ignore, not out of anger, but deep care. I want you back, not as duty, but desire. Stop now. Reclaim your attention. Turn down what's been too loud for too long. I'm speaking, and I need you to hear, now, not later. You've asked for direction more times than you can count. Signs, answers, confirmation. I heard every word. But while your lips prayed, your soul didn't pause to receive. You want to hear me, but life is too loud for my voice. I don't hide, but I don't force my way into chaos. You keep seeking clarity in motion, momentum, and activity. What you want is in the pause. I'm not in the whirlwind of doing. I'm in the quiet of being still, present, open. You've been running and reaching, hoping the next breakthrough brings the answer. The answer has been waiting in the room of stillness you walk past. I'm not playing hide and seek with your future. I'm offering direction if you slow enough to hear. The stillness that feels uncomfortable is actually sacred. It's not emptiness, it's invitation. I've been waiting in that silence, ready to speak, not with thunder or spectacle, but with a word that goes deeper than any explanation. You're chasing external signs. I'm forming inner wisdom. Clarity often arrives as a quiet knowing that settles into your soul. That knowing comes when there's space not filled with noise or rush or your agenda. The reason you can't discern what's next isn't my silence. It's that there's no margin to perceive me. Stillness isn't inactivity, it's receptivity. It says, I trust you enough to stop until you speak. That takes courage, the faith to stop spinning and listen. I know how hard it is to not have the answer right away, but I'm not developing speed in you. I'm developing surrender. Clarity without my presence leads to pride. Clarity with my presence leads to peace. I want you to know where you're going, but even more, who is guiding you. You won't learn that in a rush. You'll find it when your heart rests. I'm not asking you to do nothing. I'm asking you to listen while you wait, to open your heart as well as your mouth, to bring me more than requests, bring me availability. I will meet you there. When you slow down, my whispers become unmistakable. When you quiet the noise, my direction becomes undeniable. I haven't forgotten your questions or dismissed your longings. I've been waiting for you to trust me enough to stop. When you stop, when you rest from controlling and step out of striving, That's when I speak in ways that change everything. Not through confusion, but through a peace that needs no explanation. Next time you ask for guidance, don't just speak, listen. Don't just act, abide. Don't just rush, remain. I'm not far. I'm here in the stillness, ready to give the very clarity you keep seeking, if you'll stay long enough to hear it. You're worn thin, not because you're weak, but because you've been fighting in fields I didn't assign to you. You've taken up battles that weren't your responsibility. You stepped into roles that drain your soul because deep down you believed it was your job to fix what only I can heal. I see how you carry burdens, yours and others. I see the silent pressure, the outcomes you held that I never asked you to manage. You've lived in tension so long that peace feels strange. You weren't created for constant defense. You weren't meant to live on edge. I didn't design you to be exhausted from battles I didn't ask you to enter. You picked them up out of fear, love, duty, or habit. Even pure motives can lead to needless wars when surrender is the better path. What looks like bravery can be burnout in disguise. I don't want that for you. I want to show a different strength, the kind that comes from letting go. Surrender isn't giving up, it's giving over. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. Your power is limited, mine is not. You can only see so far and hold so much. I see the whole picture and hold all things. Learn the relief that not every battle is meant for your hands. Some belong at my feet. There are things I've asked you to release, but you cling to them, afraid that letting go makes everything fall apart. What if falling apart is falling into place? What if what you're holding blocks what I'm giving? You weren't made to be everyone's rescuer. That's my job. You weren't made to prove your worth. You already have it. I'm not moved by your struggle as much as by your trust. Surrender doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop controlling. It means you trust that I will take care of what you place in my hands. It means you believe I'm working in what you can't see as much as in what you can. Surrender is active faith. It says, I don't know how this ends, but I know who does. Letting go feels unfamiliar and scary at first, but once you taste the peace of surrender, you won't want to go back to carrying what was never yours. I'm inviting you into rest, freedom, and trust. It starts with loosening your grip. You don't have to carry that decision. You don't have to solve that problem. You don't have to hold that relationship together by your strength. Let me step into the spaces you've been guarding. Let me fight the battles you weren't built to bear. The moment you release them, I begin to redeem them. There's nothing weak about surrender. It's courage. Take a breath, lay it down, and watch what I do when your heart lets me lead. I have never demanded that you get everything right. I've never required you to have all the answers, or show up flawless, or move without hesitation. That pressure didn't come from me. Somewhere you began to believe I measure worth by performance, appearance, or consistency. I never put that burden on you. I've asked for one thing, your heart, not the polished version, not the version trying to look strong, your honest, unfiltered heart. I already see it as it is. I don't desire perfection. I desire presence, your attention, your time, the stillness that invites me in even when you want to keep moving to avoid your own thoughts. The world celebrates hustle and self-sufficiency. It praises those who push through pain and keep producing. I'm not impressed by what you achieve on empty. What moves me is your pause, your admission that you need me, when you quiet the noise inside and out and wait. Waiting isn't wasted. Stillness isn't passive. In stopping, you begin to hear what you couldn't in rushing. In the pause, healing starts. In the breath between moments, my peace settles into your bones. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need constant improvement to be valuable to me. You were valuable before your first step, loved before your first decision. Nothing you've done or failed to do has changed that. I see how hard you try and how much you carry, but I didn't create you to live under striving. You don't earn my presence. You already belong here, just as you are. Slow down enough to realize it. Step away from pressure, performance, and perfection. Sit with me in the quiet, in the unpolished, unfinished place where you let me be your rest. The world says keep going. I say come close. Breathe. Stop chasing what you already have, my love. You try to perfect yourself to find peace, but peace doesn't come from doing everything right. Peace comes from knowing I am with you when everything feels wrong. You don't fix yourself before sitting at my feet. That's where transformation begins. Not through pressure, but presence. Let go of guilt. Let go of the checklist. Let go of the fear of not enough. You are enough for me. Your willingness to stop and be still opens the door to all I want to do in you. Not your perfection, your pause. If you could see what I see when you come to me in stillness, you'd never rush past it. You'd make space for it daily, where strength renews, spirit restores, and you remember who you are. Not who the world says, but who I've always known you to be. Rest now. Not because everything is finished, but because in me you don't have to be. I know how you crave movement. I see how pauses feel like punishment, how silence makes you question whether something went wrong, whether you missed your moment, or whether I forgot your prayer. What you call delay is a shield. It's not rejection, it's redirection. I'm holding back what you're not ready to carry. Not because you're incapable, but because I love you too much to let you settle for less than my best. You've measured progress by speed. I don't move by clocks. I move by what's best for your soul. Sometimes my greatest gift is a pause, protecting you from things that would harm if they came too soon. The delay isn't empty, it's intentional, full of preparation, refinement, and unseen work. I'm aligning details you haven't considered, softening hearts, opening doors, shifting atmospheres, laying foundations for your future. If you move ahead of me, you might step into something incomplete. If you wait with me, you'll arrive when grace is strongest. I'm not slowing you because you're failing. I'm setting you up. What looks closed is preserving your calling. You see delay, I see a setup. You feel stillness, I see safety. Something sacred is happening in the in-between. If you rush, you'll miss the treasure in waiting. You look for an open door, I ask you to look into my eyes. When I say wait, I'm not withholding good. I'm keeping you from settling for good when I've promised greater. I see storms you don't. I see the weight of what you're asking and how it would sit on you now. In mercy, I hold it back, not to punish, but to preserve. I'm preparing you to receive without losing peace. This delay isn't detour. It's a holding pattern, ensuring you land equipped where I've called you. Breathe. Stop running. Don't force doors I've closed on purpose. I'm not slow, I'm precise. I'm never late, I'm aligning everything with my plan. If you saw the weight of what I'm preparing, you'd see why this stillness is needed. You want to move, I want you to mature. You want results, I want relationship. You want answers, I want you to ask what I'm teaching here. When you trust that even a pause has purpose, you walk by faith, not frustration. I know it isn't easy. Restlessness doesn't always mean move. Sometimes it means I'm reshaping desires to align with more than you imagined. You won't always understand my timing, but you can trust my heart. I've never delayed from neglect. Every pause is packed with intention. Don't despise it, don't outrun it. Let it work, let it anchor you in me. What's coming needs a stronger foundation, and I'm building it now. If you rush, you forfeit the depth I want to give. Stay with me here, and you'll receive more than you asked. You'll receive peace that sustains you, even when answers take longer. Hold my hand. Don't flinch at slowness. This delay isn't the end. It's the beginning of something you'll thank me for. Right now, something is unfolding. Something you prayed for, cried over, hoped for. It's closer than you think, but you can't see it because your focus is tangled in distractions that demand urgency and rob vision. You keep rushing, filling moments with activity, thinking productivity equals purpose. What you're missing isn't far. It's overlooked because your attention is scattered. A miracle is forming in silence, right where your eyes rarely settle. Not every breakthrough is loud. Many wonders arrive wrapped in stillness, hidden beneath ordinary. You've trained yourself to follow the loudest voice, the next alert, the quick promise. I work in depth, not volume. I reveal in places that require presence, not pace. The miracle you're waiting for may not be behind the next achievement. It may unfold in quiet obedience, in an overlooked corner of your current season, in a space you least expect. If you keep chasing noise, opinions, and pressure, you'll pass by what I set before you. I'm not hiding it. I'm asking you to slow enough to see it. I didn't design your life to blur in striving. I created you for wonder. For moments that stop you and remind you heaven is in your story. Wonder doesn't live in busyness. It breathes in quiet when your mind stops racing and notices what your spirit has sensed. I've been moving and arranging. Miracles aren't always loud. Sometimes they whisper, a chance meeting, a gentle prompting, a subtle opening noticed only by those paying attention. Be still so you don't miss what's being born around you. Miracles aren't only dramatic change. Sometimes they are timely alignment. You think miracles look instant. What if this one is a quiet clarity that sets your heart free? What if it's not loud healing, but soft restoration? What if the miracle is happening in you, not just around you? You'll see it when you stop letting the world tell you what deserves your attention. Listen deeper, not to noise, but to my nudge. You'll sense it when you slow. You'll feel it when you make space. I'm not trying to make you miss it. I'm helping you notice it. I've placed something simple on your path that holds extraordinary potential. It's there. Your eyes are fixed elsewhere. You're following many voices but not mine, responding to every demand while ignoring my invitation. I'm calling now. Step out of the noise. Set aside frantic searching. Put down the need to always do. Sit with me. Let me open your eyes to what you've walked past. I want to show you something that changes everything, but I won't show it while you're sprinting. I'll show it when you're still enough to see. You fear missing opportunities, but the real loss isn't what you didn't chase, it's what you didn't notice. Don't let noise steal your miracle. Come back to focused nearness. What you've waited for may already be here, if you'll pause long enough to recognize it. You didn't get here by accident. Every step, every valley, every unnoticed tear, I saw it all. I guided you through storms you thought would drown you. I sustained you when strength failed. I protected you in places you didn't know were dangerous. Now you're standing where you once dreamed. Yet instead of resting, your heart is anxious. your feet ready to sprint, your spirit wondering if you're late or behind. Hear me. I didn't carry you here so you'd miss what's next by moving too soon. You see delay and want to accelerate. You sense stillness and assume something's wrong. Your timing and mine are not the same. What looks like waiting to you looks like preparation to me. I know how much you want to see the fullness I promised. I know the urge to do anything to speed it up. If you run ahead, you'll reach places your character isn't ready to hold. My timing is about events, but also about you, your heart, growth, and trust. I've been forming something eternal in you, shaping perspective and training you to depend on me more than outcomes. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. Now at the edge of something new, stay close. Don't rush or take matters into your hands. Trust that the God who brought you this far can carry you forward. I'm not slow or stalling. I'm aligning. I'm arranging things you can't see, conversations you're not in, doors not yet on your map, opportunities not ready but coming. You don't have to manufacture what I've designed. When it's time, you won't need to force anything. The right doors will open, the right words will come, the right people will stand in place. If you try to outrun my process, you'll chase shadows instead of substance. I want fullness, peace, and the joy of walking in rhythm with me, not ahead of me. You think momentum is everything, but I see what it costs when you move without me. I've slowed you, not to punish, but to preserve. You're not stuck, you're steadied. I'm building faith that doesn't panic when the road goes quiet, trust that rests when answers delay, peace that depends not on speed, but on nearness. You don't need to hurry to be blessed. You don't need to rush to be used. What's for you can't be missed. What's not for you can't be forced. Let me set the pace. Know that timing isn't a performance test. It's a trust lesson. What you call delay is perfect alignment in progress. I haven't forgotten what I spoke. I haven't changed my mind about your calling. I haven't lost sight of your prayers. I won't let you step in too early and crumble. I love you too much. I brought you this far for a reason, and I will finish what I started. You won't have to strive. You'll walk into it at the right time. You are closer than you think. Everything you've endured and carried is not in vain. You are on the edge of the shift you've prayed for. You feel it. That tremble in your spirit, that sense that change is near, along with tension and restlessness. Your heart reaches for what's next. Your mind races to plan. Hear this. This next season won't come by effort, but by stillness. You're on sacred ground. What you need now isn't to run, it's to pause and align with me. Breakthroughs don't always come through motion. Sometimes they come through surrender. Not when you press, but when you rest. I've seen you push and stay faithful. Now I'm asking for something different. I'm calling you to stillness because the next part needs a calm heart and clear ears. There's precision I want to give, direction that can't be heard tangled in hurry. Pausing feels risky. You fear losing momentum. But in my kingdom, stillness is a weapon, obedience, and trust in action. You're not just waiting for breakthrough. Breakthrough is waiting for you to slow enough to receive it well. It's already unfolding, already moving toward the surface. If you try to manufacture it with your hands, you'll miss the grace prepared to carry it. Peace is the posture that welcomes what I'm about to release. Peace doesn't come from results, it comes from me. When you sit with me, Breathe deeper instead of running faster and say, I trust you, even here. You're living on the edge of fulfillment. This pause isn't punishment, it's positioning. I'm slowing you to steady you. What I'm releasing will require stability, roots that run deep. Depth grows in the pause. When you stop reacting, stop reaching for control, and stop running from quiet, I settle your soul and reveal the next step. It may not be a flash. It may be a whisper, a word, a gentle peace rising in your chest. Don't look for lightning. Look for my steady presence. That's how you'll know it's me. The edge of breakthrough is critical. It's where weariness says give up and impatience says act too soon. It's also where heaven leans closest. Don't miss this moment. Don't rush past this thin place where earth and eternity touch. The miracle is already in motion, but it needs room. Room in your heart, thoughts, and spirit. That room is made when you pause and release what you've held too tight. I'm not asking you to pause forever, just long enough for your soul to catch up with what I'm doing. Long enough to shift from striving to surrender. Long enough to remember it's not your strength that brings breakthrough. It's my spirit. So breathe. Stay with me here. Don't step ahead. Don't shrink back. Just be still and know that I am God, right here, on the edge of everything that feels like it's about to change. I see how many questions press against your mind. I see you reaching for resolution, trying to understand what's happening, trying to predict what's next, trying to fix what feels unfinished. You keep reaching for answers like they'll finally give your heart rest. You think if you just had a little more clarity, you could finally breathe. But answers were never meant to be your foundation. They can comfort for a moment, but they can't carry your soul. Under the questions, under the searching, under the ache to understand, what your heart is truly hungry for isn't more information. It's me. You weren't made to live on certainty alone. You were made for connection. Connection to the one who holds every answer, even when I don't reveal them all at once. You've been running from silence, afraid of what it might show you. But that silence is where I speak the loudest. That stillness is where you find me waiting, not with a checklist of solutions, but with open arms, ready to remind you my presence is enough even when the pieces don't make sense yet. You're trying to feed your heart with data, predictions, and logic. None of those nourish the deeper places. Only I do. That's why the hunger lingers. That's why after the research, the planning, the long talks, the emptiness remains. Your efforts aren't wrong, they're just incomplete without me. What you need isn't only a way forward. You need your creator near in the middle of the unknown. I've watched you chase peace through solutions, but peace isn't a product. Peace is a person. Peace is me living within you, offering rest that doesn't demand every question be settled first. Your soul isn't crying out for everything to make sense. It's crying out to know you're not alone in the mystery. I'm not withholding answers to punish you. I'm inviting you closer so you can receive something better. Revelation that grows out of relationship, not just resolution. You keep asking me to fix the situation. I'm asking to fill the space you've been trying to fix on your own. Come sit with me, not just to get something, but to remember what it feels like to be fully known. Your heart is tired from chasing what cannot satisfy. I am the bread that feeds every hunger, the water that quenches the deepest thirst, the light that breaks every shadow of doubt. When you come to me, not only for answers but simply to be, you'll discover that the peace you're seeking isn't waiting on the other side of clarity. It's found in communion. in quiet moments where you let me be enough. In the holy exchange where striving stops and resting starts. In the awareness that even if nothing changes, everything is different because you're with me. I want more than your questions. I want your attention. I want to sit with you in the places you've been trying to outrun. I want to speak not just to your sure situation, but to your soul, because that's where the real hunger is, and that's where I do my deepest work. In the unseen places, in quiet surrender. In the holy stillness of knowing I am here, I am enough, and I will never leave you. Let me fill you. Let me be what your heart was chasing all along. When your soul is full of me, the questions lose their power and peace takes its place. Pause with me now, not later, not after you figure it all out. Now, before your feet move again, before your heart leans into another plan, before your mind builds its next strategy, bring it to me. Every idea, every fear, every open door, every hesitation. Lay it down, not as a burden, but as an offering of trust. You've carried the pressure of making the right decision as if the entire outcome depends on your performance. I never asked you to move forward guided only by pressure or logic. I called you to walk with me, moment by moment, step by step. Not only when you're desperate, but always. You don't need to guess when you have a God who guides. I don't want to be your last resort after confusion sets in. I want to be your first conversation. Not because I want control over you, but because I want connection with you. I see further than you can imagine. I know where every path leads, not just how it looks today, but how it unfolds years from now. What seems like the smartest move may not carry the blessing you expect. And what looks uncertain or uncomfortable may be the very road I've prepared to lead you into greater purpose. You'll only know the difference if you let me lead. Don't trust every open door. Not every opportunity is divine. Some distractions arrive looking like answered prayers. Bring it all to me first, and I will show you what's real, what's right, what's meant for you. I speak through peace, not panic, through clarity, not confusion. Slow down long enough to invite me in, and I'll confirm what is from me and what is not. I'll guard your steps from subtle traps, from paths that look right but end in weariness. I'll whisper truth where lies try to disguise themselves as light. You've asked me for direction before, but sometimes you move too quickly after you pray, as if mentioning it was enough. I want more than a passing request. I want your trust. Bring me your questions, and bring me your willingness to follow even if the answer isn't what you expected. It's not enough to ask, you must listen. And I will speak through my word, through my peace, through the still, quiet nudge that says, this is the way, walk in it. Decisions made in haste often lead to regret. Choices made in my presence lead to purpose. You don't have to overthink until you're exhausted. Come into my counsel and I will steady you. I guide with compassion, not criticism. I don't push, I lead gently. You'll know it's me because my way brings peace, even when the step feels uncertain. So pause before you move. Don't act from emotion. Don't follow fear. Don't be led by pressure. Be led by my voice. I'm here, ready to lead you into the next chapter, not by striving, but by stillness, not by perfection, but by trust. Whatever it is, the decision, the shift, the risk, the relationship, bring it to me. Let me speak. Let me confirm. Let me protect what you've been trying to carry alone. You won't miss what's meant for you when I'm guiding you, and you'll never regret the steps that begin with me. You keep telling yourself you need the full picture before you can rest, feel safe, or commit. You're trying to solve things I never asked you to solve. You're exhausting your thoughts, trying to predict what's ahead when I've asked for your presence in the now. You feel pressured to map out the future, control outcomes, stay 10 steps ahead. That weight was never yours. I never placed the burden of certainty on your shoulders. I asked for trust, not a strategy. I invited you to listen, not overanalyze. This moment is holy. Don't miss what I'm saying today because you're worried about tomorrow. You're in a sacred pause. This is where I want to speak, not when every door is open, but now, while your hands are still and your heart is open and your questions remain. You don't need to move to understand me. You just need to remain. I've already prepared what's next, but I won't show you the whole path at once. I'm teaching you to walk by faith, not fear, dressed up like planning. I am your shepherd, not your employee. I'm not here to follow your plan. I'm asking you to follow mine. Your desire to understand is natural. Your need to control every detail is a distraction. It builds pressure, clouds your hearing, and makes you mistake my silence for absence when I've been waiting for you to stop striving long enough to truly hear me. I want to tell you personal things. Words not meant to be shouted over the noise or rushed through another person's voice. I want to whisper direction into the places no one sees, into fear, uncertainty, even doubt. I want to speak clarity to confusion, but clarity comes when your heart grows quiet enough to notice I've been here all along. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to rush. You don't need to gather every piece before you trust the process. Stay with me. You're standing in the middle of something only I can complete. If you rush because it's uncomfortable, you'll miss the fullness of what I'm building in you. This stillness isn't a delay, it's divine timing. Dwell here long enough to know my voice again. Let me quiet the storm inside. Let me interrupt the mental cycle that screams act, fix, figure it out. What you need most right now isn't a solution. It's my presence. That's what restores you. That's what prepares you. That's what gives you peace beyond logic. You'll never find rest through overthinking. You'll find it when you trust that I'm guiding you, even when you can't trace how. Stay here with me. Stop running ahead in your mind. Sit in this holy ground of surrender and remember, I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm asking you to be present. When it's time to move, I'll make it clear. When it's time to act, I'll place my peace within you. For now, remain in the sacred quiet. Let it be where you stop needing all the answers and start receiving me instead. When I'm enough for you here before the next step is visible, that's when faith truly begins. That's when your journey with me deepens, not in motion, but in stillness and listening. There's a reason your attention is pulled in 100 directions. There's a reason your mind feels scattered, your focus fractured, your energy drained. It's not just pressure, it's warfare. Quiet, subtle, dangerous. The enemy isn't always loud. Sometimes he comes dressed as constant distraction, urgent but empty. He doesn't have to destroy you if he can keep you distracted. If your eyes aren't on me, if your heart is always chasing what's next, if your thoughts are consumed by everything else, your soul slowly detaches from truth. He wants you overwhelmed by the temporary so you forget the eternal. He wants the noise to drown my voice. He wants you busy enough that you're too tired to pray, too worried to rest, too full of opinions to hear truth. He doesn't need to steal your faith if he can bury it under layers of distraction. But you weren't made for that life. I didn't form you to be frantic, reactive, and numb. I made you to walk with me. Free, focused, fully present. Your distraction is costing you more than time. It's costing you clarity. It's costing you intimacy with me. It's keeping you from receiving what I've been trying to give. So I'm stepping in, not to condemn you, but to call you out of the fog, to break the cycle, to bring your attention back to what matters. I want to free you from the subtle chains you didn't realize were forming. Chains made of obligations, performance, noise, and endless information. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. I want to set you free from the need to respond to everything. Be everywhere. Know everything. This isn't just about focus. It's about freedom. That freedom doesn't come by trying harder. It comes by turning toward me, by noticing when you've drifted, by lifting your eyes above the swirl of demands, fixing them on the one who holds your purpose. When your gaze returns to me, distraction loses its grip, lies lose their voice, noise loses its power. I deliver you not just from outward clutter, but from the inner disconnection that's been growing silently. You don't have to live numb. You don't have to go through the motions asking where your peace went. I offer something real, the kind of freedom that doesn't only show up in worship, but walks with you into every hour of your day. Freedom that quiets anxiety before it speaks. Freedom that restores joy. Freedom that gives you permission to be still in a world that never stops moving. You were taught to fill every moment, to measure your worth by productivity. I never valued your soul by your output. If the enemy can't make you fall, he'll make you frantic. So committed to doing that, you forget how to be with me. You say you don't have time, but what you're missing is space. Space for intimacy. Space to hear my direction. Space for your soul to breathe. He wants your schedule full and your spirit empty. But I'm not asking for what's left of you. I'm asking for all of you. Not because I'm demanding, but because I know what you really need isn't another task, it's transformation. And transformation comes through surrender. I want your heart before your hustle, your stillness before your service. I want to sit with you, not because I need something from you, but because you need everything from me. You've gone too long without the kind of rest that restores more than your body. You think surrender means doing less, it means trusting more. It means laying down the need to control outcomes, say yes to everything, and prove your value through constant activity. Surrender isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Your time, energy, and calling were never meant to be managed apart from me. I know your capacity. I know what's worth your yes and what's quietly draining you. I know how to multiply your time when you place it in my hands. I know how to give rest to a heart that forgot how to stop. I'm not asking you to abandon responsibility. I'm asking you to reorder your priorities. Let me be the center, not the afterthought. Start with me. When you start with surrender, peace finds its place. Discernment sharpens your yes and empowers your no. You realize not every opportunity is for you. Not every request requires your response. Not every moment must be filled. You're trying so hard to be everything. I've never asked you to be everything, only to be mine. When your day is surrendered before it's scheduled, when your steps align with my voice instead of the world's noise, that's where you thrive. That's where purpose lives without exhaustion. That's where you remember your value isn't in your doing, it's in your belonging. Bring me your calendar. Bring me your plans. Bring me the constant need to manage more. Let me rearrange your rhythm into something holy. Let me interrupt your busyness with my presence. I'm not competing with your commitments. I'm showing you a better way to live, led by grace, not grind, ruled by peace, not pressure. Surrender opens the door to the life your soul has been craving all along. Be still and know I am God, right here at the very edge of change. I know the questions pushing at your mind. I see the way you're trying to solve what feels unfinished, reaching for explanations like they'll finally let you breathe. Answers can comfort for a moment, but they can't carry your soul. Under the questions and the searching, what you truly want isn't more information. It's me. You aren't made to live on certainty. You were made to live in connection. Connection to the one who holds the answers, even when I reveal them piece by piece. You've been avoiding silence, worried about what it might uncover, but the silence is where I speak loudest. Stillness is where you find me. No checklist, no pressure, just open arms reminding you my presence is enough, even when the pieces don't fit yet. You've tried to feed your heart with data, predictions, and logic, but none of that nourishes the deep places. Only I do. That's why, after the research and planning and long talks, the ache stays. Your effort isn't wrong. It's just incomplete without me. You don't only need a plan. You need your creator close in the middle of the unknown. Peace isn't a product you earn. Peace is a person. My life within you, bringing rest that doesn't wait for everything to be resolved. Your soul is crying not for perfect sense, but for the certainty you're not alone in the mystery. I'm not withholding to punish you. I'm inviting you closer to receive more. Revelation that grows out of relationship, not just resolution. You keep asking me to fix the situation. I'm asking to fill the space you're trying to fix alone. Sit with me, not to get something, but to be truly known. Your heart is tired from chasing what can't satisfy. I am the bread for every hunger, the water for every thirst, the light that breaks every shadow. When you come to be with me, you'll discover peace isn't beyond clarity. It's found in communion, in quiet moments where I am enough, in holy exchanges where striving ends and resting begins, in the awareness that even if nothing changes, everything is different because you're with me. I want more than your questions. I want your attention. I want to sit with you in the places you try to escape. I want to speak not only to your situation, but to your soul, where the real hunger lives and where my deepest work happens, in the unseen, in surrender, in the holy stillness of knowing I am here, I am enough, and I will not leave you. Let me fill you. Let me be what your heart has been chasing. When your soul is full of me, the questions lose power and peace takes their place. Pause now. Not later, not after you figure it out. Before your feet move, before your heart leans into another plan, bring everything to me. Every idea, fear, open door, and hesitation, lay them down, not as burdens, but as trust. You've been carrying the weight of making every right decision, as if the outcome rests on your performance. I never asked you to be guided by pressure or by logic alone. I called you to walk with me, moment by moment, step by step, not just in crisis, but always. You don't have to guess when I aim to guide. I don't want to be your last resort after confusion. I want to be your first conversation before any choice. Not to control you, but to connect with you. I see farther than you can imagine. I know where paths lead years from now. What seems smart today may not carry my blessing, and what looks uncertain may be the road into purpose. You will know the difference when you let me lead. Not every open door is mine. The enemy dresses distractions like answered prayers. Bring it all to me first, and I'll show you what's real and right. I speak with peace, not panic, with clarity, not confusion. Slow down long enough to invite me, and I will confirm what is from me and what is not. I will guard your steps from subtle traps and whisper truth when lies pretend to be light. You have asked for direction, but you often move quickly after praying, as if mentioning it was enough. I want more than a passing request. I want your willing heart, even if my answer surprises you. It's not enough to ask, you must listen. And I will speak, through my word, through my peace, through that quiet certainty that says, this is the way, walk in it. Don't rush. Haste breeds regret. My presence births purpose. Stop second-guessing and overanalyzing. Sit in my counsel, and I will anchor you. I will guide you with compassion, not criticism. Gently, not forcefully. And you'll know it's me because my way brings peace, even when the step feels unsure. So pause before you move. Don't act from emotion, follow fear, or bend to pressure. Be led by my voice. I'm here, ready to lead you into the next chapter. Not by striving, but by stillness. Not by perfection, but by trust. Whatever it is, the decision, the shift, the risk, the relationship, bring it to me. Let me speak, confirm, and protect what you've tried to carry alone. You won't miss what's meant for you when I'm guiding you, and you won't regret steps that begin with me. You've told yourself you need the full picture before you rest or commit, like safety depends on predicting the future. You're trying to solve what I never asked you to solve. You're wearing yourself out, planning 10 steps ahead when I asked for your presence now. The burden of certainty was never yours. I called you to trust, to listen, to be here with me. This moment is holy. Don't miss today trying to control tomorrow. You're in a sacred pause where I want to speak, not when every door is open, but now with your hands still and your heart open. You don't need to move to understand me. You need to remain. I've prepared what's next, but I won't show the whole path because I'm teaching you to walk by faith, not fear wearing the mask of planning. I am your shepherd, not your employee. I'm not following your lead. I'm asking you to follow mine. Your desire to understand is natural, but the need to control every detail becomes a distraction. It adds pressure, clouds your hearing, and makes you mistake my silence for absence when I'm waiting for you to be still enough to hear. I want to tell you personal things, whispers meant for the parts no one else sees. Clarity for your confusion. But that clarity comes when your heart is quiet enough to notice I'm already here. You don't have to force or rush or gather every piece. Just stay with me. You're in the middle of something only I can complete. If you run because it's uncomfortable, you'll miss the fullness of what I'm forming. This space isn't a delay, it's divine timing. I want you to dwell long enough to know my voice again, apart from all the others. Let me calm the storm inside and interrupt the cycle that shouts, "Fix it now." What you need most isn't a solution, it's my presence. That's what restores and prepares. You won't find rest by overthinking. You'll find it by trusting that I am guiding you even when you can't trace how. Stay with me. Stop running ahead in your mind. Breathe. Sit on this holy ground and remember, I'm not asking for perfection, I'm asking for presence. When it's time to move, I'll make it clear. When it's time to act, I'll place my peace within you. For now, remain in the sacred quiet where you stop needing all the answers and start receiving me. When you realize I am enough here, before the next step is visible, you begin to live by faith. Your journey deepens not in motion, but in staying and listening. Your attention's been pulled in every direction. The scattered thoughts, the fractured focus. It isn't just pressure, it's warfare. The enemy isn't always loud. He hides in constant distraction, filling your life with urgent emptiness. He doesn't need to destroy you if he can keep you too busy to notice me. If your eyes are on everything else, your soul drifts from truth, and that's enough for him. He wants you overwhelmed by the temporary so you forget the eternal, drowning my voice in noise, too tired to pray, too worried to rest, too loud inside to hear. He doesn't have to take your faith, only bury it under distractions. But you weren't made for frantic living. I formed you to walk with me, free, focused, and present. Distraction is costing more than time. It's costing clarity and closeness with me. So I'm stepping in, not to condemn, but to call you out of the fog. I'm breaking cycles and bringing your attention back to what matters. I'm freeing you from the need to respond to everything, be everywhere, know everything. This is about freedom. You've been held by things that were never meant to hold your heart. Release doesn't come by trying harder. It comes by turning toward me, lifting your eyes from what screams for attention and fixing them on the one who gives you purpose. When you look to me, the grip of distraction loosens, lies lose their voice, and noise loses power. I deliver you from outer noise and inner numbness. You don't have to live detached or go through motions wondering where peace went. I'm offering freedom that stays, peace that meets you before anxiety speaks, joy that returns, permission to be still in a world that demands motion. Freedom begins with recognizing, returning, and choosing to make room again for life-giving things. I didn't call you to survive through distraction. I called you to thrive through devotion, to walk aware that I'm with you, even when you forget. Now I'm drawing you back. Come away from the noise. You don't have to chase clarity. I'll bring it. You don't have to fix your scattered heart. Bring it to me. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. I'll untangle what the world knotted. I'll lead you into stillness, not just to calm your mind, but to free your spirit. The enemy may want your distraction, but I've already claimed your deliverance. You've been taught to fill every moment and measure worth by productivity. I never asked for performance to prove value. The enemy loves a crowded life with a clouded mind, packed schedules that leave no space for me. If he can't make you fall, he'll make you frantic. You say you don't have time, but what you lack is space. Space for intimacy, direction, and breath. He wants you overbooked, so you're overwhelmed and spiritually underfed. I see the cost. Giving your best to everything else and offering me leftovers, if any. I'm not asking for what remains. I'm asking for all of you, not to demand, but to transform. Transformation comes through surrender. I want your heart before your hustle, your stillness before your service. Sit with me. Not because I need something from you, but because you need everything from me. You've gone too long without the rest that anchors your spirit and reminds you who you are. Surrender isn't doing less, it's trusting more. Laying down the need to control outcomes, fulfill every demand, and prove your value by constant activity. Surrender is wisdom. Your time, energy, and calling were never meant to be managed apart from me. I know your capacity. I know what deserves your yes and what is silently draining you. I can multiply your time and give rest to a heart that forgot how to stop. I'm not asking you to abandon responsibility. I'm asking you to reorder priority. Let me be the center, not the afterthought. Start with me, not just end with guilt. When you start with surrender, peace returns, discernment sharpens, your yes is clearer, and your no grows strong. Not every opportunity is yours. Not every request needs your response. Not every moment must be filled. You're trying to be everything I never asked you to be. I asked you to be mine. When your day is surrendered before it's scheduled and your steps align with my voice instead of the noise, that's where you thrive. Purpose without exhaustion, value without striving. Bring me your calendar and plans, your need to do and manage. Let me make your rhythm holy. I'm not competing with your commitments. I'm showing a better way. Grace over grind, peace over pressure, surrender, opening the door your soul has craved. You're close to something new. I see the anticipation and the mix of excitement and fear. A threshold stands ahead, not a minor change, but a doorway into a new season. Before you step, hear this. What's on the other side requires refinement, not rush. Blessings become burdens if you're not prepared to carry them. You've asked for promotion and breakthrough, and they're coming. But your heart must be anchored before your life accelerates. Your identity must be secure in me so success or responsibility doesn't shake you. You see an opportunity. I see the weight it carries, the people it touches, the choices it demands, the pressure it brings, the temptations it presents. I'm not just preparing the door, I'm preparing you. Delay isn't denial, it's mercy. I don't want you just to enter, I want you to thrive. Before you say yes, let me search your heart, refine what needs healing, strengthen your discernment, deepen your trust, and clear your motives. I'm not doubting your potential, I'm protecting your purpose. Don't fear what's ahead. If I'm showing it, I intend to lead you through it. But vision isn't permission. Seeing the future doesn't mean go now. There are conversations to finish, healing to complete, and peace to root so deeply that no storm can rip it out. If you rush, you'll carry old wounds into new spaces and anxiety into places meant for peace. Pause and let me finish my work. Wisdom, endurance, humility, everything the next level requires. This is not holding you back, it's setting you up. Once the door opens, things will shift. What you carry in matters more than you know. This is preparation, not punishment. The in-between is sacred, not empty. When it's time, I'll open the door so wide there's no doubt. You won't have to force it, it will flow with my peace. Until then, stay present in the preparation. Don't skip steps. Let patience do its full work. Be shaped into someone who doesn't just survive, but shines. Your emotions have been loud. They've colored how you see yourself and everything around you. Confident one moment, overwhelmed the next. Feelings are real but unstable. I didn't ask you to follow them. I asked you to follow my word. When life feels uncertain, my truth anchors you. Feelings say you're not enough. I say you're chosen and loved. Feelings say you've missed your chance. I say my timing is perfect. Feelings say you're alone. I say I'm with you always. This isn't about ignoring feelings. It's about deciding what leads you. You were made to be rooted in what doesn't change. You've given your emotions too much authority, and the enemy has used that, whispering lies that feel true because they match the moment. Truth isn't defined by emotion, it's defined by me. I'm the same yesterday, today, and forever, and so is my word. My promises don't shake when you do. My love doesn't shrink when your hope feels small. I'm calling you higher. Maturity that discerns the difference between what you feel and what is real. My truth is your compass. my voice is your anchor. When you feel unworthy, my word declares you redeemed. When you feel unsure, my word says I guide every step. When fear rises, my word is your sword. I haven't left you without a foundation. I've spoken. Will you let that truth lead when emotions pull? It's okay to feel. I gave you emotions, but they're not your master. I am your shepherd. Follow by faith, by truth, by my word, and you'll find stability. You'll learn to say, this is what I feel, and this is what I know, and choose to live by what you know. That's where strength and peace return. Don't let one hard day rewrite your story. You're not at the mercy of mood. You're held by a word that never fails. Plant yourself in it. Let it renew your mind and quiet the storm. My word is living and sharp. It reveals what is of me and what isn't. Let it speak louder than fear and silence confusion. Trust my word, especially when it clashes with your feelings. That's where faith is born and transformation begins. I haven't been silent or distant. My voice has been near and steady, but your life got crowded. Too many sounds, worries, and voices. It's not that I stopped speaking, it's that everything else got louder. I'm not blaming you, I'm inviting you back to the simplicity of stillness where my nearness becomes real again. You don't need to climb higher to reach me, you need to quiet down to notice I'm beside you. You've confused clarity with effort, thinking if you pray harder, I'll speak louder. I'm not waiting on performance. I'm waiting on presence. Stop running in circles, chasing certainty, and sit with me. Your spirit isn't thirsty because I withheld water. Your cup has been tilted toward everything else. You keep listening to the world's commentary and deciding from fear and opinion when I've already spoken. I'm whispering truth inside you, waiting for you to pull back from the noise and lean in. You're not too far. I haven't changed my heart for you, but something must be turned down. Notifications, non-stop consumption, constant rush. I don't fight for attention, I wait for invitation. What you need most isn't hidden in the next post or podcast, it's already within my voice. You've heard me before. You've followed before. Lately, the shouting of life drowned my whisper. Let me bring back the silence that heals. Give me the quiet where I reveal what you've begged to understand. Busyness has become a thief. It stole sensitivity and the moments where I waited in the margins you filled. You want to hear me, I believe you. But hearing requires pause, not weekly or only in crisis, but daily. I don't just speak into chaos, I shape your rhythm. 5 undistracted minutes with me can reveal more than hours of anxious thought. My voice doesn't come with noise, it comes with knowing. A gentle pull, a steady nudge, a quiet word that settles deeper than emotion. You're not too far or forgotten. Turn down the volume and you'll hear what I've been saying all along. I've never left. If you'll slow down, draw close, and get quiet, you'll find me whispering your name, waiting for you to listen again. What you've called a setback is sacred. The pause you didn't plan isn't a mistake. It's a redirection. I know it felt like momentum stopped, but what you saw as disruption, I designed as protection. What you labeled delay, I ordained as mercy. I didn't allow the interruption to frustrate you, but to find you, to break through routines that hardened you to my presence. You were moving fast, doing good things, but good things began to replace surrendered things. You leaned on structure more than surrender, progress more than presence. In love, I intervened, not to stop your life, but to realign your heart. This isn't lost time, it's invitation. Many expect clarity through motion, but my clearest guidance often follows a holy interruption. You think things are on hold, but I'm working more actively now, removing weights, trimming what doesn't bear fruit, and clearing space for what I've planned. If I let you continue that way, it could have led to burnout or disconnection. This interruption is me stepping in because you matter. Breathe. Reflect. Reconnect. This isn't an accident or waste. I don't create confusion. I build restoration and redemption. And that's what I'm doing now. In the interruption, I reintroduce you to peace and draw you back to intimacy that grows in stillness, not speed. The world sees interruptions as failure. I see doorways to what's deeper and freer. I'm giving you a chance to realign before you move, so you won't carry unnecessary weight or walk with the same exhaustion or fear of falling behind. If you knew what I protected you from, you'd thank me for the slow. If you saw what I'm preparing while you wait, you'd cherish this time. You're not punished, you're positioned. I'm pulling you aside into the secret place where your spirit strengthens, your ears sharpen, and your heart rests before it carries more. What's ahead requires peace over pressure and discernment over drive, and that's received here in this divine appointment. Don't rush to restart what I've paused. Stay long enough to receive what I'm pouring out. Let the silence speak, the pause heal, and the disruption become the foundation of your next move, not because you forced it, but because you trusted me in it. This isn't the end. It's where the plot shifts, where heaven steps in, where you'll later say, "That's when everything changed." I see what you're clinging to, fearing if you loosen your grip, everything will fall. You've tied peace to people, outcomes, timelines, and plans. Now fear whispers, if this changes, it's over. You're preserving rather than trusting. Tight fists create pressure, but pressure is not how I lead. I lead with peace and promise. I'm the restorer. What you try to protect with your strength, I can protect better. What you fear will disappear if you pause. I can rebuild stronger, but only if you let me lead. When you run ahead out of fear, you depend on yourself, and self-dependence breeds anxiety because you know you weren't made to be your own provider, protector, or healer. That's my role, and I don't fail. You've measured progress by what you can hold together. In my kingdom, progress looks like surrender. The courage to release and the faith to believe nothing is truly lost when placed in my hands. I'm not asking you to throw everything away. I'm asking you to pause and ask, do you want me to carry this? Some things you hold were never yours. Some things you lost, I intend to return. Better, later, deeper. Restoration isn't born of striving. It's born of stopping, waiting, and inviting me, not just to fix, but to redefine what you call valuable. I don't just repair, I transform on my timeline, which is perfect. You think stopping will cost the little stability you have. It's running without me that drains you. It's moving without direction that unravels peace. You weren't made to survive like this. Walk in rhythm with me. Even if something slips away, nothing is beyond my reach to restore or replace. I know what you've lost and what you fear losing next. I also know what I can revive: damaged relationships, buried dreams, missed opportunities, and the weary parts of your heart. I can breathe life into all of it, but not while you sprint ahead trying to make it happen. Slow down. Turn around. Bring every fear, loss, and hope to me. I can't restore what you won't put in my hands. Let me decide what's finished and what still has purpose. Let me speak resurrection where you've written over. I'm not limited by your past or intimidated by your present. I need your heart aligned in peace, not panic. Peace comes when you realize you never had to hold it all together. I've been holding you. When I say no, it can feel like something good is taken from you. You wonder if I changed my mind. But my no is never punishment or rejection. It's redirection and protection. I see what you can't, the path beyond today, the long-term weight behind short-term good. Not everything that glitters is from heaven. Not every open door leads to growth. Not every dream aligns with my design. I'm not denying joy, I'm leading to deeper joy. Joy that doesn't fade when feelings do. Joy rooted in trust. I know how hard no can be after you've prayed and invested. But my no isn't empty, it's a holy route. I'm steering you away from what would delay, distract, or damage. You can't always see the danger, but I do. The temptation and the opportunity, the cracks that would widen. Because I love you, I close doors. You're not pushed away, you're drawn toward what's safer and better. Sometimes I withhold because timing, soil, and people aren't ready. To greenlight now would give less than what you're meant to carry. So I wait, shape, align, and move behind the scenes while holding your heart. One day you'll thank me for the door I closed, the prayer I answered differently, and the plan I changed. You'll see denial was care, removal made room, and every no carried a greater yes. You've looked at the pause and called it an ending, like everything hit a wall. You expected movement and breakthrough, but felt the brakes. In the quiet, doubt crept in. Hear me clearly. This is not the end, this is the beginning. When you ask for transformation, I don't only shift your surroundings, I prepare your soul. Foundations come before fruit. I'm building depth before display, alignment before acceleration. Don't panic in the pause, recognize its purpose. I've seen your faithfulness, praying tired, hoping confused, believing without feeling. I heard every word and every tear. My answers don't always wear motion. Sometimes they come wrapped in silence until suddenly everything changes. Don't miss what I'm doing because it looks different. The walls of Jericho fell after persistence and quiet obedience. That's this season, prophetic, not pointless. What seems like delay is where I prepare breakthrough. I know waiting wears on you. You've been faithful without applause and obedient without clarity. This is the soil of miracles, not chaos and noise, but surrender. I see you're even here, I'll trust you. That's the faith I bless. You don't need to perform to move my hand. You need to stay open to how I move. This stillness isn't your finish line. It's where I rewrite what you thought was final. Closed doors, missed chances, relationships you wrote off. I'm not done. I'm just beginning. New beginnings are born in the unseen when you choose to trust me over your timeline, understanding, and emotions. You asked for more, and it's coming. But first, your heart needed position. Slow down enough to see this pause as sacred ground. Purpose ignites here. Character forms here. Clarity takes root here. When the time is right and what's beneath the surface is ready to bloom, you'll look back and say, when everything felt still, everything truly began. Don't give up. Don't walk away. I'm still working and moving. This isn't a stop. It's your beginning. You've tried to make everything make sense, analyzing and predicting as if clarity can be wrestled into place. You've carried the pressure of controlling consequences and mapping out what should happen. I see the weight and the wariness. You're not tired because the path is impossible. You're tired because you've leaned on your own understanding. You were not made to live on constant analysis. You were made to walk by faith. Faith isn't ignorance. It's trust in the one who sees it all. I never asked you for the whole plan, just to walk with me step by step. When you fill in every blank and force meaning into every delay, you leave surrender and enter survival. That's what drains your joy, not the journey, but the way you've carried it. You've prized being prepared and certain, but the cost was peace. Peace doesn't come from answers, it comes from me. Place your questions, timelines, and expectations in my hands and say, even if I don't understand, you do. My thoughts are higher, my timing perfect, my purpose deeper than anything you could assemble. I'm not upset you tried. Your intentions were good. You believed control could protect you from disappointment. But relying on your perspective over my promises will always stir fear. It puts pressure on shoulders never meant to hold it, and that pressure steals strength and fogs vision. I'm here to restore, not scold. Release the need to figure it all out. Let the overthinking go. Stop trying to be your own guide. Let me carry what you cannot. Let me make the crooked places straight. I know it feels like control equals safety, but I am your safety and foundation. Trust me with all your heart. Stop leaning on what you think you know, and you'll find a new strength, not from trying harder, but from abiding deeper. Step out from under the burden of your understanding. Let questions rest longer. Let pressure melt in my presence. You don't have to know everything. You only have to stay close to the one who does. In that closeness, in surrender, your soul will breathe again. You've been so focused on next that you forgot the power of now. Reaching, pressing, promising yourself the next win will quiet the noise. I didn't call you to constant reaching. I called you to abide. I'm not asking you to push harder. I'm asking you to pause and rest. Not because you're quitting, but because there's something sacred I do in stillness. Rest isn't a reward for finishing, it's a rhythm of belonging. I see your inner fatigue, the clutter and heaviness you've carried quietly. You've told yourself you can't slow down yet. More to prove, more to fix. But I'm inviting you into my presence where striving ends and restoration begins. Rest isn't doing nothing. It's letting me realign your heart. It's a holy reset, a return to truth. You started to forget who you are, not in your mind, but in your spirit. Your identity tangled with productivity and progress. You're not defined by what you do. You're defined by whose you are. Come sit with me. Lay down titles and roles. I don't need the mask. I want you. The real, weary, and still believing you. I'll remind you of the foundation beneath the pressure. You haven't failed because you're tired. You haven't lost your way because you need rest. Even I rested after creating, and you bear my image, not made for endless motion, but for my rhythm. In rest you remember, not just what went wrong, but what I've already done. The times I carried, the doors I opened, the answers I sent. Reflection wakes gratitude. Gratitude wakes joy. Joy didn't vanish because you're broken. It dulled because you forgot to remember. Look how far we've come. That memory grounds you for what's next. The world says hustle. I lead by still waters. I restore souls through abiding, not achievement. When you remember who you are, chosen, beloved, called, covered, you stop performing and start walking in confidence. You stop fearing what's ahead and trust who goes before you. Today I'm calling you inward, not forward, back to rest. Give yourself permission to stop outrunning your thoughts and hiding behind busyness. Let me hold your heart again. You don't need to fix everything or know everything. Sit with me long enough to remember. You're not behind, forgotten, or too far gone. You are mine. Let this be your return, to rest, to reflection, to the identity that anchors you not in what you do, but in what I've spoken over you. There your strength will rise again. Amen.